Hello everyone, this is Hoarder Gamer with another Raid Chat Legends Champions lore. Today we're going to talk about our Nergigante Archer from the Barbarians. Sayajida is one of the most experienced guides for those wishing to cross the Krokan Desert and is well trusted by the many caravaneers who ferry supplies from the trade depots of the Valdemar Strait to the bustling bazaars of Elizar. She is no stranger to monsters such as the ravenous Stingmaw or the multi-fanged Dunstalker. Her first employment saw her transporting kegs of the finest Arabian plum wine through the man-eating antlion mounds of Howling Bluff, with nary a drop spilled. With this experience, Sayajida could quickly assess whether tales of monsters were true, or if they were the result of overexcited traders, their minds dazzled by the insufferable heat. But when several caravans all reported seeing giant spikes punch into the walls of a commonly traveled valley, Sayajida knew she had to investigate. When a convoy she was accompanying rested at an oasis located near the valley, Sayajida took her bow and explored it. Throughout the valley were, just as rumors said, huge black spikes driven into the red rock face of the valley's walls. She couldn't so much as score them with her knife. They were as hard as granite and rough to the touch. Curiosity didn't usually pay, Sayajida knew, but she pressed further into the valley. As Sayajida rounded the corner with an arrow notched, she encountered something she never expected. Surveying one of the spikes was a small feline creature in a hunter's outfit and fiercely taking notes. It identified itself as a palico, a hunter's aide from another world who had traveled here from beyond Teleria. Sayajida had barely begun to respond when an almighty bellow emanated from deeper within the valley. She didn't need to be told twice. She quickly beckoned with her new companion to follow her, and they sprinted out of her valley. Once they were safe, Sayajida listened to the palico's tale. If this ruiner, Nergigante, was not removed, he could roam further afield, bringing chaos to Velizar's vital trade routes and severely damaging her bottom line. Sayajida offered to defeat this monster, and the palico rejoiced immediately, presenting Sayajida with what looked like a journal replete with notes from previous hunts that would be vital for defeating this foe. Sayajida led the palico back to her caravan's off point at a nearby oasis and ensured her new friend was out of sight. Should one of the caravaneers spot the talking feline, they would cage it and it would be on its way to Velizari Bazaar before sunrise. As the palico slept, Sayajida labored in the desert moonlight, using whatever scraps she could steal from unguarded wagons from all manners of traps and alarms. That same night, she stole back into Nergigante's valley and rigged a gauntlet of traps that she hoped would at least tire the monster. The next morning, the pair journeyed back to the spiked valley, avoiding Sayajida's tripwires, heading to where the two had first met. After an exchange of knowing nods, the two began to bellow and shout, as if they were trying to wake the entire Krokan Desert. When the ear-splitting roar of the Nergigante joined the chore, they may have even been successful. It was a monster unlike anything she had ever seen. Bristling with 6-foot-long black spikes, it emanated a primal anger, one hardened by years of strife. The giant, furious beast barreled towards Sayajida and the palico, unfurling its spikes wings and ready to smash them with its jet black horns. The pair sprinted for their lives, a hail of spikes following them in their desperate flight. Nergigante charged through each of Sayajida's traps, none of them slowing it. Rocks fell from the valley side, triggered by Sayajida tripwires, and Nergigante jumped over them effortlessly. Bolas burst from the ground to tie the beast's legs, but its spikes cut through the rope before they could find their mark. The chase spilled out in the open plain, where Sayajida finally spun round to face her pursuer. Sayajida unleashed a hail of arrows, spikes of her own, at the monster. Arrows and spikes are said to have littered the valley after the hunt. Caravans soon resumed traveling through the valley, their way marked by curious spires of black rock, which many swore were bone. Sayajida returned to her duties, now clad in armor studded with part of those self-same spikes, and wielding a fearsome bow to match.